People often drift away from you without giving any clear reason why you walk into a room, and heads turn not just out of admiration, but sometimes out of confusion, even a hint of unease. Some people feel drawn to you like a magnet, only to suddenly pull back, like they touched something too genuine. You're not exaggerating, you're not too much, you're powerful. And it shows this message is for the people who have always felt like they never truly belonged, not because they lacked worth, but because they carried something others couldn't easily define, a force, a spark, a frequency that many just aren't prepared to face. Your aura speaks louder than your voice. It enters the space before you even do, and it speaks a language that only the awakened can truly understand. See, when your energy is strong, when your soul has done the inner work, when you've turned your pain into deep wisdom, you move through life differently than others. You carry a presence that demands honesty. You hold space in a way that makes people face their own shadows. You don't have to speak loudly to be heard. Your quietness says more than noise. And while some will admire you, others will misunderstand. They'll call you intimidating, but really, they're just not familiar with someone who doesn't seek approval. They'll call you distant, when in reality, you're simply protecting your peace. They'll say you're too intense, when what they actually mean is you make me feel things I've been avoiding. That's the cost of power. Not everyone can handle it, and when it shines through you effortlessly, when it's in the way you walk, the way you speak your wisdom, and your worth, you'll start to notice patterns. People stare, but stay silent. They feel exposed in your presence, but avoid looking you in the eye. They come close, but then retreat just as quickly. They start questioning themselves after being around you, not because you judge them, but because your authenticity reminds them of what they've buried in this message. We're going to break it down clearly and without apology. We're going to look at the undeniable signs that your aura is too powerful for most people to handle. We're not going to soften it. We're not going to play it small, because if you've ever been called too much, if you've ever felt isolated in a room full of people, or if your energy has made others act strange around you, this is your confirmation. Your power is real, your presence is unique, and it's time you understood exactly why. Let's explore the signs that your energy is shaking spaces, shifting minds, and quietly commanding respect, whether people are ready for it or not. Because when your aura is this strong, it's not just a feeling, it's a quiet revolution. Have you ever walked into a space and felt the atmosphere shift instantly, not because of what you did or said, but simply because you arrived? Have you noticed how people sometimes stare at you, hesitate before speaking, or seem unsure around you for no obvious reason? No, you're not making it up. You're not reading too much into it. What they're reacting to is your aura, the energy that radiates from your very soul. And when that energy is strong, grounded, and real, it doesn't just enter a space, it transforms it. Not everyone can handle that. Not everyone feels comfortable around that kind of presence, because your presence speaks a language many aren't ready to understand. You don't need to raise your voice to be noticed. You don't seek attention, but somehow eyes find you. Conversations pause. When you show up, people adjust themselves. It's not your outfit or your tone, it's your energy. Move with quiet strength and confidence, and that can be overwhelming to those who feel insecure or unsure. They might say you're too much, but the truth is they're just not used to someone who doesn't seek approval. You speak the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. You don't have time for small talk sugar-coated lies. When something feels wrong, you point it out. When someone's being fake, you sense it immediately, and instead of pretending, you call it out. You prefer truth over comfort. This makes you stand out in a world that often rewards people for staying quiet and blending in. Some will say you're too blunt, others will say you're too direct, but deep down they know you're just being real. And that kind of honesty makes people confront things they'd rather avoid. You can see through people instantly. You don't need much time to understand what someone's really about. It's not magic, it's intuition. You read energy like others read faces. People can lie with words, but their energy always reveals the truth, and you pick up on it quickly. That's why some people feel exposed around you. They know they can't fake it, they know they can't pretend, and that's why they often keep their distance. Because your aura demands truth, and not everyone is ready to be seen. That clearly your magnetic people want to be near you, even if they don't fully understand why. But once they get closer, they realize you're not like anyone they've met before. You're calm yet intense, gentle yet firm. You don't follow the usual patterns, you don't crave attention, yet you attract it. And that makes people question everything they thought they understood about confidence and presence. Your energy doesn't rely on others. You flourish in solitude. You enjoy your own company. You don't fear silence, you embrace it. And while others chase relationships and crowds to fill their emptiness, you find power in being alone. This unsettles people who rely on others to feel complete. But you've learned that real strength is built in solitude, And that strength is what makes your aura so unique and so overwhelming. If you've ever felt misunderstood, misjudged, or even avoided just for being yourself, it's time to stop blaming yourself. Your energy isn't too much, it's just too genuine for people who are used to masks, fake smiles, and shallow talk. When your aura is powerful, it disrupts, it stirs emotions in others, not because you're trying to, but because truth has a way of making people uncomfortable. And when you carry that truth in your energy, some will respect you while others will step back. You're not desperate for love, attention, or approval. You've stopped chasing those who don't see your value because you've realized you don't need to convince anyone to stay. Your energy speaks for itself. You've built self-respect. You've done the deep work. And that means you won't lower your standards just to keep someone around. Some might call you cold for that, but deep down they wish they had your strength. You trigger people without meaning to, without even trying. You make others face themselves. Why? Because your confidence highlights their insecurity. Your peace exposes their chaos. Your authenticity makes their pretending obvious. And so they might pull away. They might even try to bring you down, but remember, their reaction says more about them than it does about you. You're a mirror. And not everyone likes what they see in the reflection. You have natural boundaries that people can sense. You don't need to demand respect. Your energy sets the tone. You walk with purpose. You hold space with clarity, and people instinctively know what they can and cannot do around you. You don't entertain drama. You don't tolerate manipulation. And that level of self-control is rare and intimidating to those who are used to crossing lines. Your aura quietly says, I know who I am and I protect that. You inspire people to be better. Whether you notice it or not, your energy motivates not because you preach, but because you live growth, discipline, and resilience. You faced challenges that would break others and turned your pain into strength. People sense that they feel it. Your journey makes them reflect on their own lives. And while some might feel threatened, others silently thank you for it, even if they never say it. Not everyone will like you, not everyone will get you, and not everyone will cheer for you. But you were never made for everyone. You're not here to be average, to be liked by all, or to be easily accepted. You're here to shine so brightly that it wakes others up, even if it blinds some on the way. If these signs feel familiar, don't shrink yourself. Keep growing, keep glowing, and trust that your energy is powerful for a reason. A powerful aura is not just about how others see you, it's about how you show up in life. It's the result of pain that didn't break you, growth that wasn't easy, and standards you refused to drop. Your aura is the silent message you send before you even speak. It's your soul's signal, loud, clear, and unapologetic. And while that energy pulls greatness towards you, it also repels weakness, fear, and anything that doesn't align. You make silence feel loud. You don't feel the need to fill every moment with words. You're comfortable with pauses. You're at ease being alone with your thoughts. In fact, your silence often says more than others' noise. And when you speak, people listen, not because you ask for their attention, but because your words have weight. You don't speak to be heard. You speak to be understood. And that presence can be heavy for those used to shallow talk. Your stillness reveals their need for distractions. Your calmness challenges their inner chaos. And that's why some feel uneasy in your quietness, because it forces them to hear their own noise. There was a time you needed to prove yourself. You wanted others to validate your worth. But not anymore now. Your value isn't something you argue for, it's something you live. You walk in your truth. And that doesn't need applause to exist. You don't compete because you're focused on your purpose. That quiet confidence makes insecure people uncomfortable because they can't figure out how you became so at peace without needing their permission. People project their insecurities onto you. It's not your fault, but when someone isn't stable in who they are, your aura can feel threatening. They might call you arrogant when really you're just selfish. Or they might say you're distant when you're just careful. People project their wounds, fears, and stories onto others, especially when they can't understand someone's energy. But here's the truth: you're not responsible for how others receive your light, only for not dimming it. You're not for everyone, and you're finally okay with that. This is the strongest sign of all. You no longer try to shrink or adjust to make others comfortable. You've accepted that your energy isn't meant to be easy, it's meant to change, and change is never comfortable. You weren't made to blend in. You were made to rise, to awaken, to walk into a space and remind people of who they really are or who they're afraid to become. Now you're starting to understand your aura isn't just energy, it's identity, it's strength, it's a frequency most people can't match. When your aura is strong, it's not because you try to be intimidating, it's because you've done the inner work. You've healed, you've grown, you've walked through storms that shaped you, not destroyed you. and that kind of energy can't be faked or copied or diluted. Let's go deeper. Your powerful aura affects the world around you. You challenge the status quo. Without even trying, your presence reminds people that comfort zones are cages disguised as safety. When you fully show up in your truth, others have to face their compromises. Dreams, they let die the life they settled for. It's not that you want to expose them, but your presence alone reveals the gap between who they are and who they could be, and that gap is uncomfortable. It's easier to label you intense than to face the truth that they've been playing small when your aura is powerful. People either step up or step back. Energy doesn't lie. They rise to meet you or retreat to stay where they are, and that's why your connections often feel like a revolving door. People come in drawn to your light, but when they realize that standing beside you means facing their own darkness, they disappear. This isn't rejection, it's redirection. The universe is making space for those ready for your energy, because being close to someone with a powerful aura isn't for the faint of heart. It demands honesty, self-awareness, and willingness to grow. If people step away, don't chase, don't soften yourself just to be accepted, because every time you shrink, you betray the very essence that makes you unique. Your energy isn't meant to make everyone feel easy. It's meant to wake up those asleep. It's meant to stir something in souls ready to remember who they are. Every great leader, every visionary, every soul that changed the world carried an aura that shook people, not because they were better, but because they were brave enough to live in full truth. You are that kind of person. The discomfort you bring is just the discomfort of growth, pushing against the walls of limitation. The truth is, when your aura is powerful, your presence becomes a spark. It speeds up growth in others, whether they're ready or not. Some will thank you, some will resent you. But either way, you'll leave an impression, a legacy, not because you asked for it, but because you lived it. So if you ever feel like outsider, like no one gets you, remember it's because you weren't made to fit in. You were made to stand out, to lead, to wake others up, to remind people of what they're capable of, not by preaching, but by living, by being the example of what happens when you refuse to compromise on your soul's purpose. Your aura is the echo of every battle you've won within yourself, every shadow you've faced, every tear you've turned into strength, every time you chose growth over ease. That energy doesn't just enter spaces, it transforms them. So keep showing up, keep holding your energy, keep walking in your light. And let those who can't handle it move aside with grace, because your presence is not just noticed, it's felt, it's remembered. It's the awakening they didn't know they needed, and you are just getting started. And if they can't truly see you, that's not your burden to carry. You've spent enough of your life trying to be understood by those who were never meant to understand you. You've tried explaining your heart to people still closed off from theirs, but now you walk differently. Now you know that clarity doesn't always come with approval. That peace sometimes means letting go of the people who once felt familiar but never really saw your depth. You don't chase closure anymore. You don't beg for clarity. You accept what is and keep moving forward. You've learned that not everyone deserves access to your light just because they ask. You've grown into someone who knows how to pour love without pouring yourself empty. You still care deeply, but you care for yourself just as much. That's the shift. You're no longer in places that drain you. You're building a life that restores you. Your focus isn't on who walked away, it's on who stayed true. You've stopped proving yourself. You've stopped over-explaining. Now you let your life speak. You let your peace explain what your words no longer need to. Your growth may be silent, but it's undeniable. Your energy might not make noise, but it carries weight, and the right people will feel it. They'll notice the way you carry yourself, the way you no longer react, the way you protect your inner calm like it's sacred, because it is. You fought too hard for that peace, so let them misunderstand you, let them mislabel you, let them walk away confused by your calm or threatened by your presence. You're not here to be decoded by people still learning to read themselves. You're here to be whole, and being whole means not needing others to fill you, name you, or validate you. There's power in that stillness, power in your refusal to settle, power in how you can stand in a room full of noise and remain centered. That's not pride, it's presence. It's what happens when you've spent time with your soul, when you've listened to your pain, when you've honored your healing. You've become someone who's not easily shaken. And not everyone will know what to do with that. But that's not your concern. Your job isn't to be palatable. Your role isn't to be easy to digest. Your purpose is to be fully alive, fully awake, fully you. And in doing so, you will wake others up too, not by forcing them, not by teaching them, simply by being. Your energy becomes a quiet invitation. Come higher, come deeper, come home to yourself. Some will accept it. Others will walk away. Both are answers, because the real ones, the ones who have done the work or are ready to, they'll feel you, not just hear you, not just see you, but feel you. They'll meet you with open hearts, with soft eyes, with deep presence. And that's the beauty of standing in your light. It creates space for others to do the same. Keep choosing wholeness, keep honoring your truth, keep walking with quiet fire, and above all, keep being exactly who you are. Because in a world that's always asking for less of you, being fully you is your greatest rebellion, and your greatest gift. Being alone makes people question their routines, their beliefs, and their thinking. Why? Because you're not living on autopilot like most people. You don't chase trends. You follow what's true. You don't accept average. You aim for your best, and that kind of presence shakes people. It makes them reflect. Some will admire you for it. Others might feel uneasy around you. But either way, you make a mark. You weren't made to walk the same road as everyone else. You're shaping your own path, and people who are afraid to stand out will never understand why you won't just blend in. You move with purpose. Many drift through life, but you don't. Your actions are deliberate. Your words are chosen carefully. You protect your time. You don't waste energy on things that drain you. You give energy to what lifts you up. You care more about peace than popularity, growth instead of comfort, purpose more than approval. That kind of clarity makes you magnetic, and sometimes intimidating, because people feel it when someone truly knows who they are and doesn't try to be anything else. You're deeply real. You stopped changing yourself just to be liked. You don't make yourself smaller so others feel bigger. You've let go of pretending to be someone else just to stay in places that were never meant for you. That honesty with yourself is rare, it's powerful, and it can shake people who are still hiding behind masks. Your truth shows their act, and instead of facing it, they'll say you're too bold, too much, or too honest. But what they really mean is, you remind me of everything I'm scared to become. You're comfortable being by yourself. That's one of the most underrated signs of strength. When your energy is powerful, you don't need a crowd to feel important. You don't need loud distractions to feel alive. You've found peace in your own company, and that can scare people who aren't okay being alone with their thoughts. They don't get how you grow quietly, how you become stronger in silence, how you shine without needing attention. But that's your strength. You are your own source. You don't depend on others to feel whole. You already are. You didn't just wake up with strong energy. You built it. You earned it through pain you had to process alone. You earned it through struggles no one saw. You kept showing up even when giving up seemed easier. And now, that inner light is undeniable. It's bright, magnetic, honest, and yes, sometimes too much for others. But that's not your concern. This is your reminder to protect your space, honor how far you've come, and carry your power with grace. You no longer beg to belong. Maybe once you wanted to be accepted. You held back your truth to keep the peace, but now you know better. Any space that asks you to dim your light isn't where you belong. Your presence no longer waits for permission. It just enters, and the ones who are meant for you, they'll recognize you instantly. They won't ask you to hide. They'll celebrate your light. You don't chase places anymore. You build them. You walk away without guilt. A strong aura comes with firm boundaries. And setting boundaries isn't about being mean, it's about being honest with what your soul can't take anymore. You've learned to walk away from messiness, from confusion, from anything that steals your calm. The truth is, the more powerful your energy becomes, the more sacred your space must be. You're not rude, you're refined. You're not cold, you're just clear. And yes, some people who are used to crossing your lines will call your growth selfish. Let them, because now you understand the difference between being kind to others and being loyal to your own spirit. You inspire others without trying. You're not out to impress people. You just live in truth, and that speaks louder than any show. Your strength makes others believe they can rise too. Your presence gives permission to hope. You are living proof that pain doesn't have to define you. It can shape you. You carry your wounds, but you wear them like medals. You speak from depth because you've learned through pain, and even if you don't realize it, your energy changes the room. You don't just exist, you uplift. Your presence is like a mirror. For some, it brings healing. For others, it brings discomfort. Why? Because your energy shows them who they are, or what they fear they'll never become. Some people will find courage in your strength. Others will stay away because they're not ready to face the truth your energy shows them. So stand tall. Your light isn't here to make everyone feel safe. It's here to wake people up. One last thought. Stay boldly, beautifully you. Don't dim your light. Don't hide your fire. Don't make yourself smaller. You weren't made to blend in. You were made to shine. Your energy isn't too much. It's just strong enough for the ones ready to meet it. If some people fall away, let them go. The ones who are truly meant for you will rise to meet you at your full power. Let's be honest, having this kind of energy isn't always easy. It's a blessing, but sometimes it feels like a heavy one. People might not get you. They may avoid you. They might treat you like an outsider. But now you know. You weren't built to blend in. You were born to stand out. You were never too much. You were never too intense. You were never difficult to love. What you are is real, and in a world full of filters, performances, and pretending, real is rare. Real challenges, real makes people feel, but that's not your fault. That's your sign. That's your purpose being confirmed. Your energy shakes things up. It forces people out of comfort zones, and that's exactly why you can't hide your light. People like you were never meant to follow the crowd. You're here to wake people up, to shift the frequency, to show what true presence looks like. Yes, it's lonely at times. Yes, you'll lose people who once felt close. But what you gain is something priceless: deep peace, inner balance, and personal power that no one can take from you. Let go of the need to be liked. Release the desire to fit in places that can't hold your full self. You don't owe an explanation to anyone who hasn't done their own healing. You don't have to shrink to fit into rooms you've outgrown. Here's the truth. People will throw their own fears onto you. They'll feel your confidence and call it pride. They'll notice you're calm and try to stir drama, but none of that changes who you are. You are strong. You are focused. You are magnetic, not because you fake it, but because you've grown into it. And those who are meant for you, they'll feel it. They won't run. They won't ask you to lower your light. They'll rise and match your frequency. So stop saying sorry for being who you are. Don't doubt your inner compass. Don't hold back your shine to make others feel safe. If your presence is too much for some, let them exit. Their leaving is not a loss. It's proof that you're growing and making space for what's better, because your energy, just by being here, calls for respect. It doesn't need permission. You weren't sent here to be understood by everyone. You were sent to be felt by the right ones. Your light is not too big. It's the perfect size for those ready to receive it. So keep walking with strength, with softness, and never ever apologize for the fire that lives inside you. Your light isn't a threat. It's a reflection, and only those brave enough to face themselves will truly see you. And as you keep walking in your truth, understand this: every time you choose to be fully yourself, you're not just honoring your journey, you're giving others silent permission to honor theirs. Your light becomes a signal to those still searching in the dark. Your peace becomes proof that healing is real. Your strength becomes a reminder that pain doesn't get the final say, even when no one claps, even when no one thanks you, even when no one notices. Keep showing up with that quiet strength. Keep choosing depth over attention. Keep choosing alignment over applause, because the people who truly matter will feel your frequency before they ever hear your name. There's something powerful about a soul that no longer chases, a soul that no longer tries to convince, impress, or perform. You become unshakable not because you're loud, but because you're rooted. People may not understand how you got this peace. They may not know the nights you cried, the losses you endured, the storms you outlasted. But you know God knows, and that's enough. You stopped trying to be chosen because you finally chose yourself. You stopped begging to be seen because you finally saw yourself. That's not arrogance, that's healing. That's maturity. That's real self-worth. And now you protect what you used to give away freely. You no longer offer your energy to people who treat it casually. You no longer bend yourself for connections that don't honor your essence. You no longer argue with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You just let them go, and that's not bitterness, that's clarity. You now understand that your time, your peace, your energy, these are sacred. And not everyone has earned the right to experience them. That's not pride, that's discernment, that's wisdom, that's love. Starting with yourself, you carry a presence now that speaks before you say a word. People feel your boundaries, your calm, your focus. They feel the weight of your self-respect, and not everyone will like it, but the right ones will respect it. The real ones will rise to meet it. The deep ones will see your soul and say, "There you are. I've been waiting to meet someone like you." So keep walking, keep rising, keep radiating, even if no one understands your journey. Walk it anyway. Even if they doubt your vision, see it anyway, even if they question your light. Shine anyway. You weren't made to shrink to make others comfortable. You were made to expand, to lead, to heal, to awaken. Because that's what your presence does. Without even trying, you stir hearts. You plant seeds. You challenge comfort. You awaken courage. You hold a mirror. And those who are brave enough will see not just your light, but their own. That's why you can't give up now. That's why you can't go back. You've come too far. You've grown too deep. You've become too real. You no longer belong in the shallow. You no longer fit in the fake. You weren't built for surface-level living. You're here for soul-level impact. So when you feel unseen, remember, you are felt. When you feel misunderstood, remember, you are still aligned. When you feel alone, remember, solitude is sacred space for the chosen. And when the weight of your aura feels like too much, remember it's not too much. It's just heavy with purpose. You are not here to please crowds. You are here to shift atmospheres. You are not here to play small. You are here to carry light into places that forgot what light feels like. You are not here to be safe. You are here to be free, to be bold, to be true. And when you walk in that truth, mountains move. Paths clear, people change, not because you force them, but because your presence whispered to something deep in them, "Wake up, rise up, there's more for you." And if no one ever tells you, let this moment be the reminder, you are powerful beyond words. You are sacred, you are necessary, and the world doesn't need a quieter version of you. It needs the real you, fully alive, fully lit, fully present.